the TLG Group Global, crafting the future of hospitality in venture capital.
A warm welcome to all our esteemed participants. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Bandha Mukta, and I'm the Investor Relations Officer at TLG Global. We will be focusing today on exploring opportunities available through European residency and citizenship, with a special highlight on Latvia and Portugal. Let's see what these programs offer and what are the advantages. So it's good for people who are looking to expand their business or enjoying a European lifestyle, or simply benefit from access to entire Schengen region. As most of you may know, TLG Global is committed to providing comprehensive solutions for individuals seeking to expand their horizons and enjoy the benefits of securing European residency. Now, with an impressive track record of more than 27 projects across the globe, over 130 million euro worth of asset portfolio, and 300 plus investors, we are committed to assisting you really smoothly. Our expert panel today, which consists of our Director of Business Development, Mr. Carlos Quirin, our Manager of Business Development India, Misam Hussain, and myself, as I already introduced, Bandy. Everybody here in Portugal calls me Bandy. So yeah. So let's deep dive and see, what do we have in store when it comes to securing a residency or a citizenship in Europe. Now, a bit of a disclaimer that this presentation is, for our stakeholders only, providing insights into TLG Global and its subsidiaries. So it's not an offer to buy or sell securities or provide financial or legal regulatory advice. So we request you to not share it, without consent. Moving ahead, I would like to talk more about our company, TLG Global. I'm sure most of you already know about us. So we are a 40-year-old company started in India by our founder members, Mr. Ramzan Lakhani and Mrs. Yasmin Lakhani. So later they moved to Canada, and now we are headquartered in Lisbon, Portugal since 2018. So as I mentioned that we have 27 projects across the globe. Me being Investor Relations Officer, I can very proudly say that we have more than 300 investors who have invested with us through the Portuguese Golden Visa program, and we have more now for Latvia also. So you must have heard us talking about Latvia as well. Today we will be focusing more on Portugal though. So so that's all. And we have more than 1,000 visa applications till date, 130 million worth asset portfolio company. So we very proudly would like to say that we have offices in India, of course, in Hyderabad. Recently opened an office in Dubai, in Latvia. We have offices in China as well, and in Portugal, of course. And we are basically real estate developers and asset management company. Moving ahead, would like to take you through some of our projects that we currently have. So, Misam, if we can go ahead. No worries. So, so these are would like to showcase our projects that we have, especially in Portugal. So we have a portfolio of hospitality projects. Basically, we have hotels that we will be opening shortly in Portugal. And we also have in our portfolio, office buildings and even residential complexes as well. And we are very proud to say that this year we look forward to having at least 3 of our projects operational. One is at towards the south of Portugal, which is in Alentejo. It is a very beautiful, like a resort branded by the Wyndham Group. and it has 75 rooms. And the other one that I was talking about is Wyndham Residencies Lourish. It is just 30 minutes away from, or 20 minutes away from Lisbon, a beautiful 36 villa resort. And as we go ahead, we will be talking about a Latvia program as well. So I was just trying to connect that this particular project will serve as a collateral for our Latvia program. How? I think Misam would be the best one to explain that further. Moving ahead, I would also like to share, some of the funds that we had earlier. So Carlos here will be talking about our existing fund, which is the Platinum One fund in Portugal. But we have also seen the success of two of our earlier funds, So one was the CNB fund and the other was the Oasis fund. So I'm just sharing this just to show you that this was a very impressive, this is a very impressive track record for us. So CNB was 105 million euros worth, and OSS was a little smaller, 23 million euros worth, fund size. But if you see the internal rate of return, it's pretty, pretty good. So 17.7 was for CNB and 13.98, though being smaller in size, for OSS fund, with a 0.16x to 0 debt to equity ratio. So this shows that our funds in the past have done, exceptionally well, and we see the same for the Platinum fund as well. Moving ahead, I would now like to hand over the stage to Misam. Just a bit of an introduction. Misam is, as I already mentioned, that he is our business development manager for India. He, he takes care of our India office and responsible for our team in India with an expertise in business development, even marketing. Misam has been in this industry for a very, very long time. So thank you, Misam, for joining today, and over to you.
Thank you so much, Bandy, for this introduction and for welcoming me for this platform. Thank you so much. So I'm here to give a little bit insight about the program which TLG Global is offering. So basically, we are having two programs. One is Citizenship by Investment, that is for Portugal, and we have Carlos. He will explain about Citizenship program, and then the other program which TLG Global is offering, which is Residency by Investment, and that is for Latvia. So for people who have not heard about Latvia before, so yeah, it has got a unique history. So it has it is sharing its boundary with countries like Estonia and Belarus, and this has a capital which is called Riga. And talking about the program, so Latvia, if we can go to the next slide, please. So talking about the program, which is Latvia. So this program is not new. Let me tell you, this program has started in 2010. But the difference here is when in 2010, when it started, it was focusing on real estate. Because it was aiming to attract the foreign investments and to boost the Latvian economy. And but now when we are in 2025, it's restarted a couple of years back, and here it is more focusing on investment in a business. But let me tell you that there are multiple options. But before that, I just want to give a little insight about Latvia. Why is it favorable to so many people, and why it's talk of the town these days? So So when just like any Schengen country, it has got free access to healthcare and education, and it has got modern infrastructure, good quality of life, and it is the strongest passport in the world. So it comes under 8 number. So it is the 8th strongest passport, which has the access to 184 countries, visa free 184 countries access. And it is because it is part of Schengen access, the traveling becomes more easy, if you are traveling to any part of the, Schengen area. And talking about literacy rate, so it has got 100% literacy rate. So, people, though it has got its own unique language, it has got its local language, Latvian is the local language, but still people prefer speaking in English there. So yeah, this is the quality of the country, which is called Latvia. So over to the next slide, please. So when we talk about programs, so Latvia is offering 3 options when it comes to the investment. So option 1 is by investment in a real estate. Like I was mentioning, in 2010, this program has started in real estate, but the ticket size was 100,000 euro in real estate. But now the ticket size is 250,000 euro for real estate. Okay, and then there is option 2, which is focusing on purchasing of government bond. So if someone want to go with option 2, they can purchase government bond from the bank, and the ticket size and the minimum value for that is 250,000 euro. And then there is another option, and which is the most popular option these days, and that is by investment in a business. The ticket size for that is 100,000 euro. So Latvia government has set some rules and some criterias which has to be fulfilled by the company who are planning to get the investment in the country. So the criterias are, it has to be a legal establishment of, it has to be a Latvian company doing a legitimate business in the country. Of course, it has to be a financially viable company. So these are like 3 basic, rules which any country will opt for. But there are 3 more criterias, and I want you guys to focus more on that. And the rules are, the criterias are, the company should hold 50 plus employees in their company. Okay, so a company should be having 50 plus employees in them and doing a annual turnover of 10 million euro and a tax compliance of 100,000 euro. So if any company which is doing or following all these rules and all this criteria, they become eligible for the golden visa program. So we as TLG Global, we already have a company in Latvia which is called El Hotel Latvia, and we are already fulfilling all this criteria. We are having 62 employees in Latvia. We are already fulfilling the annual turnover and the tax compliance. So we become eligible for this particular program. And then anyone who wants to invest, they can invest in our company and become a shareholder. And in return, they get the residency. Okay. Now talking about the terms, as you can see in your slide, in your screen, the minimum investment is 100,000 euros. Okay. So there is 100,000 euro in the market and also 50,000 euro in the market. So there are 2 programs which is for residency by investment in a business. So there is option 1, which is for 50, and there is option 2, which is 100,000 euro. 50,000 is more investment in a smaller company. The maximum cap for that is the target, or I can say target size for that is 500,000 euro, which can maximum hold up to 10 investors in their company. At the same time, there will be additional expenses every year, and there won't be any collateral. And then there won't be any social securities. Whereas 100,000, there's social security, there are collaterals, and of course, there's a buyback. 50,000 doesn't have a buyback, but 100,000, we have worked for this particular program for last 1.5 years. And we wanted to make sure that, we are making a program and designing a program which is favorable to our investors. So 100,000 against 5 years residency. Okay. And then there's 100% guarantee buyback. So let's say if, an investor they plan to withdraw from the program after 5 years, they get back whatever they have invested. So against 100,000, they get back 100,000 euro. So the 5 years, it is it has to be renewed every year. So either they can physically visit Latvia and get their card renewed, or initially they have to visit for the biometric. But in those 5 years, out of 5 years, they have to visit Latvia 4 times and get their card renewed every year. Okay, and by doing that, they are getting the cards, getting the temporary residency card within 2 weeks. So this is the beauty of this program. So they are getting the card, temporary residency card in 2 weeks. Whereas there is another option, they can visit the nearest embassy of their home country. So for India, for instance, the embassy is in Delhi. So they can still apply from the embassy. Maximum time they take from the embassy is 6 to 8 weeks. But still, it is as compared to other programs like Greece or Malta, which is taking 8 to 9 months. Latvia is offering the same within weeks. So this program is creating a benchmark in terms of in terms of delivering the card in the quickest manner, that is within weeks, and also because it's quite affordable. 100,000 for residency. There is nothing like this this kind of program in the market for Europe at this time. And at the same time, the target size for our program is 10 million euro, which can hold up to 1,000 investors. Okay, and let's say someone who's looking for a passport or the citizenship. So minimum requirement is 10 years. Someone has to stay in the program for 10 years, and then they become eligible to apply for citizenship or passport. There is another expense, which is the donation to the Latvian government, that is for 10,000 euro. So 100,000 is the minimum investment, and the donation is 10,000 euros. And from TLG Global, we are giving 7 days stay in our TLG hotel in Portugal as well as in Latvia. So someone is planning to visit every year, we are giving 7 days stay as a complimentary to our investors, so they can visit every year, have a vacation with their family. And before I forget, this particular program is eligible for the main applicant as well as spouse and children below 18 years. So yeah, I mean, this is something which is exciting for anyone who is planning to have a second home in Europe. The next slide, please. Talking about the structure. So if you can see your screen, in the center you find the name Lux Smart Hospitality Investment. So this is the name of our program. Lux stands for luxury. So we have given it a name, a marketing name, which is Lux. So on top you see L Hotel Latvia SIA. So it's a limited liability company which we have started in Latvia. The mother company is TLG Global. We have got headquarters in Portugal. Okay, and like I was mentioning, the difference between 50,000 and 100,000, and I mentioned that there's no collateral. But for this particular project, we have a collateral which is a project which is called Windham Residency. It's a project, 36 villa project in Portugal, in Lisbon. Okay, the value of the project is 23 million euro, and this particular project become the collateral for the investment. And as I mentioned that, if you see on below, new minority shareholder. So basically they invest in our company and they become the shareholder of 0.1%. They get all the right except the voting right. Okay, and they get all the support from our in-house legal team. Okay, and our focus for this particular investment will be on smart hotels, hotel technology, and hospitality schools. So these will be the focus and areas where we will be investing. Over to the next slide, please. Yeah, thank you. So here we are talking more about the documentation process. So for onboarding, It's just like, applying for any other visa. So for onboarding, we will need a KYC and passport and proof of address. Once we get this, we go with, a power of attorney, the signatures for power of attorney. And then there are a couple of agreements which will be exchanged from our legal team to the investor. That is deposit agreement signed, shareholders agreement. So once that is signed, there is a proof of fund transfer. So at this moment, the fund transfer takes place. The fund has to be 100,000 has to be deposited in the account. Okay. After that is done, the next step, you submit all the required documents from source of fund to the bank statement, medical insurance. At this point, you have to submit the Latvia donation made, the receipt of that. You have to submit that also. If you are married, you will need a marriage certificate, which has to be apostille. And for the minors, birth certificate is mandatory, and police clearance certificate. And that's all. And then we are good to go. The next slide, please. This slide will explain you about the investment calculator. So, if anyone plans to do the investment, they have to reserve for this particular program. So the reservation cost is 10,000 euro. And after a week, you have to make the full payment. That is 100,000 euro. Once 100,000 euro is, the funds is transferred, whatever reservation fees was made, that is 10,000 euro, it will be refunded in your account. And so basically the expense is 100,000 euro plus 10,000 euro, and there will be additional application cost per applicant. For the main applicant is 3,000 euro, and per dependent it is around 15,000 euro. But I think the breakup of that particular investment, we can share it with you in the slide. And so the basic investment is 100,000 euro plus 10,000 for the donation, and another 3,000 for the application cost, and the dependent comes to around 1,500. Sorry. So yeah, it's as simple as that. I hope I was able to clear on the residency by investment. Now over to you, Bandy. Thank you so much. Please take over from me.
Thank you so much, Misam. It was really informative. Just to clarify, when you were explaining the cost to the family. So, if I'm not wrong, then say for example, if it's a family of 3 people, the main applicant and 2, one adult and 1 minor, I think it shouldn't cross somewhere, more than 5 to 6K, right? And this is for the entire 5 years, right?
This is for the entire 5 years. It should be around 5 to 6,000 for the family of an adult, that is of course the spouse, and a minor, that is a child.
Right. I think that's really nice. So thank you so much once again, Misam, for sharing. I would now like to invite Carlos. Carlos will be talking more about our Platinum Fund, which is a way to gain residency and citizenship in Portugal. It is a very popular golden visa option. So Carlos, as I'm sure everyone knows him as of now, he's our director of business development, and he has years of experience in business development, in team leadership and real estate. So he's a seasoned real estate player, if I'm not wrong. So thank you so much, Carlos, for joining us today, and welcome. The stage is yours.
Thank you, Bandy, for the introduction. And thank you, Misam, for the clarification on Latvia. And well, the title of our webinar today is how to secure residency in 14 days and citizenship in 5 years. So yes, in Latvia, you can get your temporary residency issued or approved in 14 days, okay? Depending on where you apply, either at the Latvian embassy or in Riga, in the PMLP offices itself. So this leads us to the getting a 5-year citizenship in Portugal, which the processing times, unfortunately, are not so fast as Latvia, but it's more straightforward in terms of citizenship. So at the end of the 6th year, you can, of course, get your permanent residency, apply for your passport. They will provide citizenship until you get ultimately a Portuguese passport. So how can you get this in Portugal? So you have an option of making a donation to a foundation, for example, but you have the option of investing, of course, as the real estate option is no longer available. You can invest in investment funds in Portugal with a minimum of 500,000 euros of investment. So about the country, which I know pretty well, I was born here, so I can enlighten, of course, the best things about Portugal. So, of course, Portugal provides access to free and universal healthcare. We have a very good healthcare system in Portugal. We have a private system and a public system, okay? It is the 3rd safest country in the world. Well, it's always there between the 3rd and the 4th, depending on the statistics, but it's always on the top 5 of the world's safest country. Also, we are at this point the 5th strongest passport out of 184 countries. It's very political and socially stable as a country. And yes, there are ways that you can have a favorable tax regime, okay? If you are investing in the country, we'll be happy to explain you more in detail, okay? How can you achieve that? And also by investing in our investment fund Platinum One, the returns that you get are free of taxes. So this is also a good option, okay? You are tax-free from the dividends that you collect from your early income from the fund, okay? Moving forward, I will explain you the terms of investment in the Platinum Portugal fund. So the fund has a target annual return of investment of 12%, okay? Our track record shows that we have provided between internal rates of returns of 14, as Benny has mentioned before, and 18%. So we are targeting 12% of ROI in this fund per year to deliver to our investors. There is a 1.5% annual management fee. This is a management fee that comes from the fund, so this is not an extra cost for the investor, okay? In terms of minimum of investment in the fund, okay, we have 4 classes of participation units, 4 categories, okay? So category A, it's what we can call the golden visa category. Of course, any investor can invest in any of the other categories, okay? But these are some special conditions in this category. So we have 2.89% of fixed return of investment to this preferred category, okay? And also we have a security investment of the 500,000 euros, which is secured to after the 6th year, so the investor can get his investment bought back again, okay? And while he's having the fixed ROI along the years that he has the money invested in the fund, okay? So this is a fixed, so it's a safe option with a fixed ROI and a secured return of the money invested, okay? This is category A, which you can decide to keep after the 6th year. You can keep until the end of the fund, and we will provide 7% in the last 2 years, okay? On the other categories, that category B is also available to be invested by the investors, okay? But in this case, we don't have a secured, let's say, investment or a fixed ROI or a yearly dividend to deliver to the investors. So this is according to the fund's performance, okay? So as I mentioned before, the target is 12%. So if the investor chooses to invest in this category, he can diversify and invest half the money in category A and half the money in category B, for example, okay? But this option can bring higher returns, of course, has less assurances, let's call it like that, but also can provide higher returns. And this will depend on the type of investor that our new investor is, okay? Category C also for our advisors, okay? That can also invest with us in the fund with a minimum of 10,000 euros investment. And category D will be TLG itself, the family, the Lacanay family investing in the fund. Just to mention that the minimum to obtain a golden visa in Portugal is 500,000 euros invested in investment funds. So they can invest either the full amount with us, or if they wish to diversify and invest also in other funds, they are free to do it. But to be eligible for the golden visa program, the minimum amount of 500,000 euros must be invested, even if it's in different funds or in the same fund in different categories. Okay. So about the structure of Platinum Fund 1. So we, in this case, we have participation unit holders. So when you're investing in this fund, you become, a holder of X number of participation units. The depository bank is Bison Bank, which is the entity that will receive the investment. Okay, it's of course a bank. This money will be invested into Platinum 1. Okay, Platinum has a investment structure, a structure of investment to invest in several sectors. Okay, related with the hospitality. So we are investing. This money will be used to invest in smart hotels, in the purchase of companies that will operate smart hotels, also improve, of course, the properties itself when it's necessary, but we will be running hotels in Portugal, and not only because it allows us to make up to 40% of the investment after the capital raising outside of Portugal. Okay, also we'll be investing in hotel technology companies and education, also related with hospitality. Okay, so this will be the main areas in focus of investment of Platinum 1. Okay, so we provide to our investors through the IIS company, International Investment Services, a full service regarding the golden visa application. Okay, so if they wish, they can of course always have their own external lawyers, but as we've done in the past, to our investors, we can provide the service of collecting all the documents, making all the translations, submitting all the documents according to IMA rules. So everything that the investor has the peace of mind that his application is properly done and that we will get approved. Okay, for this service, we do not charge our investors. Okay. Apart from that, we have an investment committee. Okay, so as I was saying, after this period of capital raising, there will be a period of investing. Basically, we need to deploy the capital that was raised. So this capital will be deployed in the companies of the three sectors that I mentioned before. And for that, there is an investment committee, which of course TLG Capital as the management company is part of it, but also all the other participants in the fund. Meaning, when you are an investor in the fund, you have a seat at the table, to say your opinion about, should we buy this company or that company, invest in this sector, in that location. So that is also what it means to be part of the investment committee. Okay. Then we have also our supervisory board and external entities that perform our compliance, our accounting to the fund, and our auditors. And we are TLG Capital, regulated by CMVM, which is the Securities Commission in Portugal. So how does it work, the golden visa process in Portugal? So, of course, first you need to sign the contracts, and our team, after getting the power of attorney, will handle and take care of taking your Portuguese tax number with the Portuguese authorities. Okay, so you will need the Portuguese tax number to apply. We'll take care of that for you. Okay, also if you wish to open a bank account, again, this is not a mandatory requirement for the application. Okay, but we suggest that we start doing this process. So after you are approved and when you have everything and you need to come to Portugal for the renewals, it comes handy to have a Portuguese bank account, because there are some costs and fees to pay to the government every year that you need to come to Portugal. So we suggest you to have a Portuguese bank account. Okay. And after the funds are transferred, we initiate the golden visa process. Okay. So in this, after you have submitted, well, the law says it should take 90 days to get an approval, but the truth is it's not taking. And we all know the delays of the program, okay? It's taking 2 years, sometimes even more, to get the first residency card, okay? The good news is that, okay, your time to reach the permanent residency starts counting after you make your submission. So that's what starts counting. But unfortunately, until you get your first TRC, you don't have the mobility and the free of movements that the TRC provides you within the Schengen space, okay? So this residency card is issued, and it's valid for 2 years. Then you need to make a renewal after that, okay? So it's provided to you the second Portuguese temporary residency card, and it's valid for 3 years, okay? And after that, the golden visa renewal and application for a permanent residency, and then the citizenship, okay? So this is the process. You have 2 renewals of the residency card, and the last one to become a permanent residency or a citizen of Portugal. In terms of family and eligible family members, you can include in the same application spouse, adult children, or minor children. The adult children must be financially dependent of the main applicant, okay? Your parents, parents-in-law, and even your grandparents. In terms of documentation process, it's pretty easy. So it's pretty much like what Missam already explained before. So we start with the simple KYC, a copy of your passport and the proof of address. And in this case, we take care of your Portuguese tax ID, what we call NIF in Portuguese. In Latvia, it's not mandatory to have it. Then we sign a power of attorney for the main applicant and spouse. This will also provide us with the powers to submit your application to IMA, okay? And then after the signature, you need to send us some documents like the proof of employment, bank statements, and sign the management regulation. Basically, it's to justify the source of funds, okay? And we have to comply with AML policies of the Central European Bank and the Portuguese Bank of Portugal, of course, and CMVM. So simple documents, not a big issue, and then you are good to go. So in terms of investment and savings, so as I was saying, we have several categories, okay? But in this example, on category A, if you, let's say, you retain your investment for 7 years in the fund with the yield that we are providing, we are talking about a dividend distribution of more than 100,000 euros, okay? As I mentioned before, this is all free of taxes because you are non-resident in the country. When investing in the Portuguese investment fund structured like ours, you are free of paying taxes in Portugal. If you stay 11 years in the fund, so your returns will be around 200,000 euros. And why? Because the last 2 years we provide 7% per year. Okay. Also, in terms of savings, I would say 95% of the management companies in Portugal, they charge a subscription fee to the investor when he enters the fund. Usually is 1.5%, okay? So this is something that we are not charging to our investors. And also because it's a mandatory requirement from the program, 7 days per year, you need to visit Portugal, okay? To maintain your application, let's call it eligible. It is a cost, of course, not just the traveling, but also the staying in Portugal. So unless you have a cousin or a very good friend that can host you and let you stay in their house with your entire family, you will need to book a hotel or an Airbnb or whatever. So in this case, we offer you 7 days free stay in our hotels. So as Nisam also explained in the beginning, we have several properties in different stages of construction. And right now, this year, we are targeting to open 4 of those hotels and resorts this year, and 5 more on the pipeline. So you're happy. Welcome to stay with us in our hotels in Portugal. Okay, so I think I'm done, Bandy. I think we have some questions now.
Yes, Kalosh. So thank you, Kalosh, for sharing this information. And we've included these two questions, which are like the most frequently asked questions. So, by the potential investors or whoever is interested in these programs. So what is your take on these? Kalosh, if you can just, give your views, and then probably me some, it'll be really nice.
Sure. Mason, you want to take the first one?
Yeah, the first one says, is it possible to obtain Latvian PR or citizenship through the residency by investment program? So, yeah, I will say that it is possible through the residency by investment program to obtain a PR or citizenship. So for PR, the requirement is you have to physically stay in the country. So temporary residency program says that there's no requirement for them to stay in the country. If they want, they can just simply take the program and still not stay in the country. But to apply for the permanent residency, they have to physically stay in the country. That is, let's say they have a temporary residency of 5 years, so they have to physically stay in the country for 4 years, and then they can apply for the permanent residency. And for citizenship, the law says they have to be in the country for 10 years, and then they can apply for citizenship. Carlos, can you
Just wanted to
can you add
to add on that the law itself says that what the law says is that you need to show a continuous address in the country for 4 out of 5 years to obtain the permanent residency in Latvia, and show integration into the community, the Latvian community. Okay, so you cannot just go 1 day per year to Latvia. Of course, you have to have an address, you have to have electricity bills, water bills. You have to show, consistency that you are trying to get integrated into the Latvian community. Funnily, does not say that you need to live like in Portugal. You need to stay 7 days in the country. The Latvian law says that you need to show a continuous address in that country under your name. And after you achieve that, you can apply for a permanent residency. Okay, this permanent residency is provided to you for a period of 5 years. Okay, so if you engage and start the process when you invest, for example, in our program, it will be 5 plus 5 or 4 plus 5 if you start on the year 2. Let's call it like that. And at the end of the 10th year, you can apply for a citizenship. Again, the word apply, it's very important here. Of course, you need to state your case to the authorities. Okay, it's not so straightforward as Portugal, but it is possible, and there are successful cases on this. And the country is open to provide citizenship by investment as well. Again, the program is a TRC, is a temporary residency program for 5 years, but there is a path to achieve that. I would say if we would compare Portugal with Latvia, I would say that, okay, Portugal demands you to invest more of your money. Latvia demands you to invest more of your time. So it's cheaper, but you need to invest more time.
Exactly. Thank you. Thanks for sharing this information. And also one question that, comes to my mind, or again, a frequently asked question is that, as we have been saying, through this entire webinar, that, okay, Latvia is a way to attain residency faster, and Portugal is a way to attain citizenship faster. So is there like a midway wherein our investors can have both the residency and citizenship faster? Carlos, if there's a way out?
Actually, there is, Benny, that is well noted. And why? Because we see some investors, they want to, for example, okay, I want to achieve citizenship, but when they see the waiting periods in Portugal, 2 years, sometimes can take even more, they say, okay, I will have my money parked there for 2 years and I have nothing to show. It's like driving to a car shop and you buy the car and you need to leave it there for 2 years. You cannot drive it. So, it's not easy. Okay. But we have a middle way solution, if you can call it like that. Okay. Which is they can invest in both programs. Nothing in the law says that they cannot have to, because the Portuguese, the first stage is also a temporary residency card. Okay, So they
Right.
receive a temporary residency card, okay? So they can apply for it in Portugal and they can apply in Latvia. So at the same time, they will receive the Latvian residency card in 2 weeks or 2 months, and they have the free access to Schengen area. So that will provide them the mobility that they are looking for in these residency programs, okay? So what our Latvian program says is that we buy back the shares from the investor after 5 years. But in this specific case, if he applies in Portugal and Latvia at the same time, we can provide the buyback of Latvia as soon as he has an answer and the residency card provided from the Portuguese authorities. Meaning he gets instant mobility to the Latvian program, and he does not have to wait 5 years to get his money back if he invests also in our Portuguese fund in Portugal. So that will provide him this middle way that you are talking, Bandy, an instant mobility, but also a clear path to citizenship through the Portuguese program.
Exactly. Thank you so much for that, because a lot of investors, potential investors from like South Asian countries like India, Pakistan, and other countries also, they are looking for faster residencies and also citizenship. So I think this would be a very, very exciting combination for them, if according to their needs. So thank you so much for sharing that. And the next question here is, what are the requirements for Portugal program? So when it comes to compliance, I think to get PR, permanent residency or citizenship, I think maintaining the investment is one of the most critical aspects. But other than that, Carlos, if you want to highlight, what are the other requirements that the investor needs to comply with?
Sure. So yes, first they need to make the investment, a minimum of 500,000 euros, into an eligible Portuguese investment fund that is eligible for the Portuguese Golden Visa. And our fund is eligible. And they need to keep the investment until they get, the permanent residency out of 5 years. Okay, so that is what will allow them to withdraw the investment without losing the residency in Portugal. Okay, so they need to maintain. Meanwhile, they need to come 7 days per year to Portugal. Okay, but again, as we offer a 7 days free stay, it's less that cost that they will have. But yes, in terms of requirements, they need to invest, of course, make the investment and keep the investment a minimum of 5 years. So after that, they can withdraw the investment. And they need to physically visit the country 7 days per year. That's another requirement of the program. In terms of permanent residency and citizenship, basically they get the TRC for 2 years, then they renew again for three years. And at the end, they make a final renewal, let's call it like that, for the permanent residency, okay? That will allow them to apply for the citizenship, and the word apply here is not as the apply in Latvia, okay? Because if they have fulfilled the 5 years of permanent residency, they will become automatically eligible for the citizenship, unless they have committed a crime or something. So they are automatically eligible, so it's just an admin process, let's call it like that, until they become citizens of Portugal and get the, so wanted Portuguese passport.
Exactly. And also, sometimes there is a confusion as to, when the 7-day period will start counting. So I would just like to add on here that the 7-day stay that we are talking about starts counting, if I'm not wrong, only after they receive the first, the temporary residency, right? So once they receive the temporary residency, then in the next 5 years, they need to comply with this 7-day per year stay, right, Carlos?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Great.
Carlos, sorry, Bandy, just to interrupt in between. I just want to understand. Yeah, I just want to understand. This 7-day, is it mandatory, or they can get it done just like Latvia by the embassy, by the home country embassy? Is it possible for Portugal?
They need to visit the country physically. What they can do is they need, unlike Latvia, the application is submitted online. In Latvia, yes, they need to submit the application at the embassy or in Latvia. In Portugal, no, they can submit it wherever they are. Okay, I would say 85% of our investors have submitted with us. So basically, we submit here online. Okay, of course, if it's necessary to try to visit my office for some reason, we are here and we can do that and we provide that service, of course. But everything, all the process is submitted online, okay? And then they are called for the biometrics, and only then they will bring any document if needed to be updated, the original, if I'm requested. When they come for the biometrics in Portugal, they will bring the document, let's say a birth certificate that is missing a certain certification, okay? You must bring this document so we can validate and we can approve your application, and then they are approved, and then they will be called they will be called to pick up the cards, or the cards will be delivered to them, and then they need to visit the country 7 days per year.
Exactly.
Just to imagine, in this case, if they have a lawyer with the power of attorney, we can receive the cards in their name, okay? And then we can send them the residency cards or arrange for a pickup. So they don't need to come for the biometrics, and then let's imagine 2 months after the cards are issued, they need to come in a rush to pick up the cards. No, we also can receive the cards on their name and then deliver the cards to them, or send it via mail to wherever they are.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Carlos. Thank you, Misam. I think if there are no further questions, then, I would like to ask you one last, like a closing statement, or one, if you want to reach out to the people who are watching us, what is that one thing that you would like to tell them, if you want them to take actions?
Misam, you want to take this one first?
I think I'll give it to you, please.
Yes, me talking. Okay, I can tell you two things. So first thing is that Portugal was not always like this. Portugal used to take 3 to 4 months to get approvals. Now it's taking 2 to 3 years. So the same thing may happen to Latvia. What I'm saying is that, as Misam explained before, this is a program. This is not a recent program. But, Latvia was popular 10 years ago. They were making 4,000 or 5,000 cases per year. Then they dropped to 100 cases per year. Why? Because the real estate option increased from 100 to 250K. And the companies eligible for the, golden visa were just those option one of 50K companies that don't provide any security, that have a low social capital. So a lot of investors didn't want to take the chance. So in our case, Bisam already explained that this brings a lot of more confidence and security, and with a collateral of 23 million euros, a real estate collateral, which is very important. So we expect to have a lot of demand and a lot of investors investing in our program. So this also means that the timelines of getting approvals, if you have more cases, will also increase. So if you are looking for a fast mobility, the time to invest is now. It's not in 4, 5, or 6 months from now. It is now. You can secure a 14 days residency and mobility in the Schengen space. Okay. Also in Portugal, we have witnessed a lot of changes in the past. We started talking that, the government is going to stop the golden visa in real estate. We started hearing this for 2 or 3 years ago. Nobody believed it, and then it happened. So what I'm saying is that we are still now also hearing, is the golden visa program really needed right now for the country or not? So as it came, it can also go. So if you have the funds and if you see the importance of having this mobility and an European passport and a straightforward path, so this is the time to invest. And if you want to wait 4, 5, or 6 months more, it can happen. Like last year we had investors that didn't invest in the 280K option, and they lost. They don't have the other funds to invest in the fund, so they lost. And they're saying, I should have invested. I never believed that the government would take out the option. So, but they did. So I think that if you are interested in moving forward, there is no more time to waste, because you may lose and you may miss this opportunity.
Carlos. And likewise, our investors who invested when the real estate option was open to 80K, they feel really fortunate, that they did not miss the opportunity and they invested. So yes, as Carlos was mentioning, that now is the time, because it depends from country to country, from every government to the other, that, when they can start a program, when they have the rights to close the program. So now is the right time to take action. So with that, Misam, if you have anything to add, please feel free.
Yeah, I think I just want to add that, this residency by investment, particularly, I'm not talking about any country, but, residency by investment is always a plan B for anyone, where you can live, work, study, you have all the options open, and the mobility is of course there. So I think, for any country, I think they have to make good opportunity. It's a good opportunity, make good use of it. And when there is an option like Latvia, which is offering in the fastest manner, and at the same time very affordable price, like Carlo just mentioned, you never know, the price of 100,000 might go to 200,000 euro anytime. So this is the best time to invest. And if at all you are looking for a plan B, I think you have it right there. Yeah. So that's all from my side. Thank you so much. Bandy, are you there?
I think there is some bad connectivity. I don't know if I believe I'm audible, no, Mr.?
You are audible.
Yeah?
I think there is a problem with
I think there is with Bandy's Wi-Fi probably. But yeah, I think this is it. I think we can close the webinar. So
yeah,
I would like to thank you all for yes.
Yes, please go ahead. Sorry.
No, just saying, I'd like to thank you all to attend the webinar, and we'll be happy to share the presentation with all of those that are interested in it. And please feel free to contact us, okay, via WhatsApp. You can book a meeting, send us an email if you have any other questions regarding either of these programs. We'll be happy to reply to your queries and see if this is a viable option for you or not.
Thank you so much, Carlos. Thank you, Bandy. Thank you everyone for joining.
Thank you everyone for joining us today. Thanks.
The Laccani Group Global, crafting the future of hospitality in venture capital.